Okay.
Alright, it's recording now.
Recording.
You can record now, but I'm just currently...
Recording, onion ring chomping.
I'm not joking. This is literally my cocaine. I don't know why. It's just corn and onion dust, but it's the best.
So this is a new onion ring eating podcast we're doing.
What's the word? Have you ever seen those like those videos about people who have like it's like sensory. It's like saying, "Hi, and welcome to this. Let me just speak to you softly while I rub this balloon, really softly. Ooh, I bet you like that."
Yeah, I saw a funny video actually the other day of like someone they'd recorded someone eating a pickle, and but the thing was the sound effect. The microphone was really close to it, and the sound effects was horrible. Like her just eating this pickle.
Oh my god, that's the worst. It's. I mean, look, I like pickled gherkins, but I don't find anything like seductive about. Have you seen this pickle? Oh, pickle rickle. Am I right? Am I right? Oh dear.
Boys? Stop watching that trash!
One man's trash is another man's torture. Starring Johann Chipol as the inflictor of pain and Edward Harvey as the victim. From Studio Enigmatic comes the Trash Tapes.
Hello and welcome to the very first episode of the Trash Tapes, where someone else's trash is someone else's treasure. Ooh,
Don't know about treasure.
it's ours at the minute, because this is the first episode of this podcast. My name is Johann Chipol, and with me I've got my always regular compadre of arms, as we call it, Edward Harvey.
Glad to be here.
You don't sound as enthusiastic as I am.
Yeah. I say glad to be here. It's my house.
It's your house. We're doing this in your house.
But I want to give the illusion that I'm the guest.
Oh yeah, you're not the guest. I'm the host of it, but yeah, I'm not the host. I'm basically the guy who is selecting these movies where we're gonna watch together and end up torturing you.
Yeah, because we decided. I mean, I wanted you to be the host because last time we did like a web show, it was a gaming show, and I was the host of that. Now we switched it up, so you're the host because your knowledge of trashy movies is
phenomenal.
impressive.
Basically, once a month, I'm gonna come round to your house and say, "Hey, we've got some beers, we've got some snacks, and I'm going to show you a movie." And we think, oh, it's fine. But these movies are not your regular kind of movies. These are movies that are just literally the worst. And because this is the thing, you and I, we are cinephiles, and we're a little bit of like film snobs at times. We can admit it, we can be film snobs. But I go to the dark side.
Yeah.
I go to movies which are literally named as rubbish, as trashy tapes.
Yeah.
And since luckily, by the sound of things, you've not seen any of these.
No, like I was looking through the list that Johann presented to me when he first got here, and there was a lot of movies. Some of the movies I'd never heard of, and some of them I had heard of that I thought, yeah, I've got to watch that at some point, but I haven't yet.
Yeah.
So it was a combination of that, and I was literally looking through them like, got to do an episode on that, got to do an episode on that, and there's not one movie that I thought, nah, I'm not sure about that one.
The reason why I love these movies is most of the time they are bad. They're terrible movies. But the reason why they're so bad is also because they're sincere. Like there is a weird thing underneath it that they really genuinely thought somewhere that they were making a really good movie.
Yeah.
And those are the ones that I want to share with you.
So in terms of, we'll probably present this to the fans in terms of what defines trash, but like you've got your own opinion, and everyone's. I think we agree on the opinion of what a trashy movie is, but like there is some trashy movies that it's obvious that the director is aware
Yeah.
that they're making a trashy movie, but sometimes they're not aware. Which is best, do you think?
The best ones, those ones which are totally aware, but they do it in a way that's good, right? That means like, we know we're making an exploitation movie, so we're going full force in it. That means they're aware of it, so they're not holding back or taking themselves seriously.
Yeah.
They go full force. So if you watch a blaxploitation movie, or you watch like a nunsploitation movie, or a Bruce Lee station movie, there is a Bruce Lee exploitation movie where basically once Bruce Lee died, they just brought a whole bunch of fake people that look like Bruce Lee, and they go full force with it. It's like, no, this is really the thing, and they'll break all the rules and do weird stuff you've never seen before, and they're great. But the best ones for comedy value are the ones who genuinely think that they're making a good movie.
Yeah.
And ones who think like, this is not trash, this is wonderful stuff. And then we look at it and say, how?
Yeah. Because the best trashy movie I've seen lately that it's obvious that they were aware of the trash we were making is Jack Frost. Have you seen Jack Frost? Not the Michael Keaton one.
No, but that's a different thing.
Yeah, that's a whole different kind of trash. But like, no, the horror snowman one.
Yeah. Oh.
It's absolutely hilarious, and it's intentionally hilarious
Yes.
as well. I just thought it was a really good trashy movie.
And that's the thing is, those ones are fine because they know it's trashy, but then what they do is it's no holds barred.
Yeah.
It's like for example, when you watch a wrestling match and it's like, there's no disqualifications, falls count anywhere, you can do whatever the hell you want and no one can stop you. And that's the best ones. The ones who are doing an exploitation movie but don't go far enough are the ones which start going a bit bad, or ones that don't really push things, or ones that don't make too much sense. Those are the ones which have just become bad movies. So we're going in full circle. So this podcast is mostly going to be an excuse for me just to show you this alignment of really rubbish, trashy movies. Whether it's from movies that just got nothing but sex in it, movies that just got nothing but gore in it, movies that make no goddamn sense, movies that are cheap that your grandmother could probably make it in their backyard. But which I think honestly
Probably do a better job.
Yeah. So that's what we're going to be doing with this podcast, and we're hopefully going to have an episode about once a month.
Yeah. So why Troll 2 then?
Right, so the movie we picked is Troll 2 first. Now, the reason why Troll 2 I picked first is because it's actually what I like to consider like one of the Citizen Kanes of bad movies. It's a whole documentary about it as well. It's a whole documentary made in 2009 called The Best Worst Movie, which is literally looking at how these people made this movie and also looking at how the actors came out later. And turns out, like, actually, people really love this. But there's some really interesting factoids that I've got. I've got my phone ready with all the factoids I'm going to fling at you later on throughout this whole thing.
Yeah.
So, in order to sort of discuss what Troll 2 is about, we need to sort of sum up, first of all, like, what is Troll 2? Now, I'm going to give you a little brief of what Troll 2 is about and what's happened. So, Troll 2 is a movie that's made in 1990. So it's on the brisk of the 80s, hence why when we watched it, we always felt weird 80s bits that didn't really seem to match in the whole movie. It was originally done by an Italian director, but went by an American name because in the trailer, and it says, and I quote, "I want to make an American movie," and no one would believe an Italian did it. Now, on top of that, the Italian is also quite renowned for, and his wife, who wrote the script, do not really speak any English.
Right.
And they wrote the script in bad English and demanded the script was said word for word.
Oh, so some of the bad dialogue might be the translation thing?
It's not even translation. They wrote it in English. They just don't know how to speak English.
Yeah. No, so it might not sort of translate very well when converting it kind of thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so they made this, and the movie was originally going to be called Goblins, which makes sense. But the American distributor said, we don't think it's going to do that well that way, so we're going to lynch it off another trashy movie called Trolls that had some success and call it Troll 2, but had absolutely no connection with it whatsoever.
Yeah, they do that a lot, actually, don't they? Borrow titles and attach a title to a movie just so that it sells off the title.
Yeah,
right?
but the thing is, out of all the movies, no one's heard of Troll. So why Troll 2? So yeah, and so from that, it's basically imagine an Italian director who's trying to make an American movie who doesn't speak a lick of English, trying to direct a whole bunch of amateur actors in a movie that he genuinely thinks is a masterpiece, but he cannot translate it well, and because no one really cared for this movie, it was done so cheaply that there was no love left afterwards.
No, well, it's just a disaster waiting to happen, isn't it?
It's a total mess. So that's the premise of how the movie got made. So the thing is actually talking about the plot. So you saw it. So we've just finished seeing this. So the idea is that we've just finished literally seeing this movie. It's fresh in our heads.
Yeah, even though it's fresh in my head, I still don't really know what was happening.
Do you want to give from your synopsis, from your idea from just watching this, what's the plot?
Well, there's like... I don't know where to start with it.
Start from the beginning. So go literally scene by scene, all the things you remember.
It's just... It's like a blur. I just remember green faces. Lots of like green monster cum faces.
Oh my god, it was so that, wasn't it?
And well, it's obviously it starts with what I thought was going to be a great like movie, because it's like, you know, it a lot of the time, say in the 80s, you have these kind of setups where you've got a bedtime story type thing.
Yeah, I think like The Princess Bride.
And yeah, and it's and then the whole movie cuts to the story of what's happening, and then it cuts back to the grandfather. And that was thinking, oh, okay, this is that might be kind of cool.
I remember from literally when the first minute you think, oh, this is going to be cool. It's like, this is not how it turns out.
Yeah.
Peter was a courageous boy. At dawn, he could feel fear stuck to his skin like dew on leaves. The fog was thick enough to make him lose his way home.
Don't you know this is what people in olden times wore, obviously. Looks like flipping Pinocchio.
Small shadows that seemed to giggle as they followed in his footsteps. She was a lovely girl, with huge eyes the color of the sea.
And fake freckles, clearly.
Yeah, just like eyeliner pencil just drawn on her face.
That is not real freckles,
Peter
mate.
immediately fell in love with her. That's the point. Goblins don't need to.
Oh, is this one where the whole movie's like a story being told? Like
No.
Princess Bride, like.
No, you wish. Because that would have made the movie good. No.
I won't interrupt you anymore.
So then you realise that the grandpa isn't there.
I love how you find out he's not there. First of all, you think, oh yeah, it's all that kind of thing, and then later on, you know, literally when the mum walks in, it's like, who are you talking to? And literally just literally gone, and the rocking chair is still moving.
It's still rocking. And by this point, the kid looks like he's schizophrenic, and the granddad is just in his head. It's just one.
The kid looks more and more insane throughout the movie, but then as we'll mention later on, the grandfather has more magical powers than we've ever thought he had.
Yeah, and it's never explained why he's magic, the granddad.
He's because we think, is he a ghost? Is he a wizard? We don't know. But anyway, from that point, the grandfather starts saying the story first of all, right? And he's talking about the origins of the goblins. So here's a question first of all: How do you think the goblins? What do you think of the goblins?
They're basically like cheap Halloween costumes, like. Really, like some of them. The thing was, there's not a consistency to them. Like in terms of like, if you're gonna do goblins, decide on the look and then stick to that. And like you can have little variations, but there's some of them have got like eye holes cut out in their masks. And then you kept laughing at one that's literally got the eye holes covered
The eyes
up.
are still there. It's like as if it's like, oh, all of them are cut, and it's like, oh, you haven't cut this one, then Larry, you know, whoever is doing it. Oh, good grief! It was probably one of the most ridiculous things because he looked. Obviously, you could tell it was a mask by that point. I know they all were, but you could tell that one was like clearly no one gave two shits about that guy.
It said film mirage.
Film
It's like Mirage, but with film.
Film in it. Oh, good God. Oh, yes.
This music.
It's epic. Oh, man. This movie is famous for having just all the cornucopia of everything that just makes it pure rubbish. It's up there as one of the Citizen Kanes of bad movies.
This music sounds like the music to like a driving game.
I know, right?
Like on the like from like 1995.
Oh god, it's like you just got a PlayStation and you're about to play Ridge Racer. And you're like, oh man, this is epic. And you put in the disc and realize it's just a man being chased by trolls. Yeah. No, not trolls, goblins.
Right. So they somehow, I can't remember, why do they decide to just go to the town? They were deciding
to go to the town because they were going to go on a vacation. They wanted to have like in the movie said, we want to go back to our ancestry, like peasants and farmers. And
oh yeah.
Like, no, number one, no one wants to be a peasant. Like, he basically wants to go on a vacation for like a longish summer vacation in the middle of flipping nowhere. Mm. And the town, do you remember the name of the town? Nilbog. Yeah. Which is, number one, the weirdest name ever. Yeah. But, so in other words, they want to go to Nilbog. But going back to the beginning, where you have the fairy tale, they explain the fairy tale about the origins, about, this introduces to the green goop and the really fake-looking goblins, and the fact that the goblin people feed these people like which basically looked like some kind of slime mixed with plasticine. Mm. That's bright neon green.
But we were saying when we were watching the movie, it was like it was the time when slime, like everyone loved slime, not just in movies, but like it was like a toy type thing. And you got the Ghostbusters not that many years ago.
Yeah.
And but I remember having like not just ectoplasm, but like big like toxic waste kind of things.
Toxic waste like in tubs.
Yeah, and like you just play with slime and just coat it in your toys and kind of like it's just
oh man, and
it looked like that kind of slime, like the toy slime.
It didn't even look like the fun slime because fun slime's like Nickelodeon Let's Gunge You slime, right? It wasn't even that fun. It was just literally looked like someone got Play-Doh and melted it and said, here you go. And it's neon green as well, which is gross. So if you eat plasticine in this universe, you turn into a pile of green gooey vegetables.
Yeah. And it's obvious that they were trying to be, in some ways, they're trying to be like kind of cool with the use of green, because there's lots of green in other places and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, let's be arty with this. Let's put some green in everywhere. Like the kids' skateboard, let's have that green with green wheels and things like that. And just like let's have a green theme going on. But it didn't matter, all that kind of stuff. You don't think about it too much. You're making a crappy movie.
No one makes sense of it. I think that's the thing. It's probably there was a symbolism with all the green. It's like saying, it's like here's a hint. If someone's going to be green, he's probably a goblin, but you couldn't really tell because the guy was everything was green. Everything was green. If that was the case, where if anything was green was goblin related, then people should have flipping noticed by this point. But what happened was he got the family. Okay, let's talk about the family members for a minute. So you have the son, you have the little son who is like a bratty 10-year-old. Who, oddly enough, is probably, in my opinion, probably the best, one of the better actors in the movie.
He is the best. I mean, he's not brilliant himself, but like in terms of the quality going round, he is probably the best actor.
He has range. This is the thing. The kid is the only one who has range. So you have that. Then the next one you're introduced to is the mother.
Which is my personal favourite.
Why is the mum's your favourite?
Because the mum has got like notch 1 in her acting reality and notch 10 and nothing in between. She'll just be like a monotone. I can't make any kind of emotion whatsoever. Then all of a sudden, everything's fantastic. And look, I'm on notch 10 now. I'm notch 10 mom.
The cocaine has finally kicked in.
Yeah.
but you must banish him from your
Kid's
mind.
got a lamp
Remember
that's
what the
also a
doctor said?
basketball. This is kind of cool. I want that lamp.
Oh, I love the fact that there's a dramatic scene here and you're focusing. Man, that lamp.
Well, no, that's a typical example of a bad movie because the production design is distracting. It shouldn't be. Like,
I know, right? Plus, at the same time, she's not really saying much of
Nothing
note.
can do
She's
is all good.
she hasn't really changed her emotion at all in the last few minutes. So
Yeah.
she's
Good night.
she's Marbot 3000.
No, I know. There's just the dialogue is great though because like how much do we laugh at when the dad greets those teenagers? He just comes. He comes in and he looks like he should be really really pissed off with them and like sort of like defensive and like I'm going to look after protective of his daughter.
Yeah.
But he goes up to him, storms up to him and goes, "So kids, how's life?"
That's the best reading of it.
That's his opening statement.
Yeah, because that totally says, "Hey, that's angry dad," right?
Yeah, because he says it like in a statement way, not as a question. He kind of says it like, I'm going to say this to introduce this conversation.
And I'm going to do it sternly, and it's going to mean business.
Because they don't really want to answer it, do they? They just kind of like...
Besides, that's a big, vague question.
Yeah.
Like, that's a vague question. If someone went up to me, hey, how's life? It's like, well, there's a lot I could go through right now.
Christ!
What is it?
Your sister Holly's with that playboy son of the Coopers.
Oh, no.
So, kids, how's life?
Listen, Mr. Wait.
I don't want to have anything to do with you. I don't speak to people who arrive late and upset their girlfriends. You've given me a bad impression.
Yeah, I was just always commenting on the fact that, like, the dad is seen in a variety of PJs, actually, not just one pair of PJs.
He likes
Like,
the pajamas.
He's got some snazzy PJs in a few scenes, but they're unbuttoned, almost right to the bottom button.
Right to the belly button.
Yeah.
And the only thing I can think of is he must be really proud of his chest.
Yeah.
The man works out.
Or maybe like just the director just really liked him.
Oh, it's so bizarre. That's the thing is all the people are introduced in this movie in really weird ways. The daughter's first introduced by pumping iron. Like properly like, yeah, I've got pumping up iron and shit. Yeah, and it's like, all right, that's really random.
Perhaps they just wanted it. That's a bit of sex appeal. Put that in there, make the sexy pumping iron sweaty. And stuff
yeah,
like
it's
that.
probably that, but it's so random because because that's the thing is if she's pumping iron, she's supposed to be a strong, like independent woman. That's the only time in the entire movie where she's actually done anything productive.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're introduced to the whole family, and then we had the weird bit where just right at the time when they're when the kid's in bed, like he's in bed, and suddenly you hear a knocking on the window. And you're thinking like, ooh, but it's bed. And then we talked about the music, which literally just sounds like it's come from like a kid's keyboard.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping some like bits of my comments of the music will be used in this because I was constantly being a composer commenting on the music. The music is like very much like a 90s computer game, like late night, like PlayStation era.
Yeah.
So in that respect, he was ahead of his time because it was made in
5 years
1990.
ahead. It was in the future, but it never sounded complete. It always had that kind of weird 16-bitish tone to it, didn't it?
I think it was probably because a lot of it was probably, even though it did say that there was like a composer, but it also sounded like stock music a lot of the time, didn't it? Like, the composer was just like, well, I can't be bothered to compose a bit of music for that bit. I'll just put some stock music in.
But here's the thing as well. Like, I'm looking through IMDb as we speak to look at everybody, right? Everyone, like literally nearly everyone in the entire cast and crew, like the crew in particular, all the crew, majority of them were Italian.
Yeah.
And looks like half of them were not probably even there on the shoot. Like they were there like a little bit, they say like, and they're talking Italian to each other. The actors have no fucking idea what's going on. They've got maybe one or two translators, and even then they're like, meh.
I mean, this is what happens, right? When you have people who don't understand what's going on set, like,
Yeah.
and this is the kind of movie that gets made when no one knows what each other's saying.
I know, right? It's just so confusing. And this is the thing, is like, this is the thing, when you were looking at the credits at the very beginning, you said like, oh, Drake Floyd.
Yeah.
And I told you that's not his real name.
No.
His real name is Claudio Fragrasso. A proper Italian there, I tell you. Maybe because he realised he goes, I want to make a good American movie. And he does that.
But
And
using a fake name, that's just like, that won't do you any favours because what do you want to be known by that name after that point? Or do you want to be known by your original name or like...
True, but Drake Floyd at least is pronounceable.
I suppose, was it like an experiment, do you think? Like he was just trying it? And if this Troll 2 ended up being a commercial success,
This magnum opus.
Would he just like then, I'll continue using this name and make other movies?
It could have been. But no one would believe that he was like, so you were a Drake Floyd from Alabama? Yes.
So if you put Drake Floyd into IMDb, does it come up?
It comes, when you type in Drake Floyd, it comes in as just the one movie that he did, and it looks like actually, then it reveals as actually the real director now.
Right.
So he didn't hide it very well. But what I was going to say was the composer was also Italian.
Yes.
But so basically, it feels like a lot of it's been lost in translation somehow.
Yeah. It feels a lot.
A lot of it. I mean, here's another thing as well. Here's an interesting factoid that you're going to find fascinating: is that the cast only got the script on a scene-by-scene basis. So so in other words, they didn't get the full script at the beginning. They only got script per scene that they were doing in, which means they had the entire thing out of context.
Yeah, so this is why as well. I mean, the actors aren't brilliant to begin with, but if you're not giving the actor the whole package to absorb and think, this is what happened in the story. So if I'm in this sort of scene, I'm going to be feeling like this at this particular time. If you're just giving, this is your scene, no out of context, this is your scene, this is what you got to do. They're just going to be wooden, aren't they? They're going to be cardboard cutouts.
Then again, looking back at IMDb and this magical database, you're going to love all this, right? Okay, so the father, his name is George Hardy. I'm looking back at his IMDb page. He doesn't really act. All the leads were originally casted as extras. All of them were originally there just to be extras, and then they all got lead parts. Oh, God. Okay. George Hardy was a dentist.
Yeah.
He was just
Which one's that? The dad?
The dad was just a dentist. And, okay, so this guy...
Just felt like doing a bit of acting.
It's like, I just want to be an extra on the side because, he heard that, this Italian movie is being made in America, being close by. So he participated, and he only had to... Apparently, again, looking back at IMDb, this is amazing. If you ever want to find more details about Troll 2, just go on IMDb. The trivia is fantastic. He got the part of the dad because do you remember his best line is, I will not allow you to piss on hospitality. I won't allow it.
Do you know what it means? Hospitality.
Hospitality. That's not hospitality.
You can't piss on hospitality. I won't allow it.
What are you going to do to me, Daddy?
Tightening my belt by one loop so I don't.
I thought he was
going
gonna
to
piss on him there.
And your sister and mother will have to do likewise.
Right after, okay, and he said that literally loudly just once in a room of 9 Italians who don't speak a word of English, who are smoking cigars, and literally say I like his gusto, we'll hire him.
It's so weird. That scene was really weird because it was like he was talking about like pissing, and he was reaching down as if he was going to start pissing himself.
I know, right?
But he obviously was going to get his belt off in terms of to discipline the kid.
Yeah.
But he was it's like reaching down as if he was going to start pissing himself while he was talking about pissing. It was just so weird.
And plus, he was angry for the kid, but he sounded monotone the entire time, so it sounded like this really weird dramatic monologue that didn't really go anywhere. Because we're just now rambling. So that part happens once everyone decides to go to Nilbog, right? So they finally go to Nilbog, and they realise everyone's a bit weird. Like literally, all the townfolk are staring at them as if they're like, we don't like your kind around here. Pretty much like, Deliverance kind of weird way. They're just staring like, oh, you're weird. I don't like you city folk. And they go into the house and meet the families there. The family's there. We're going to swap houses. It's like this vacation. We swap houses. You get to see the city. We get to see the countryside because we get to pretend to be farmers and so on. And everyone looks fucking dead-eyed. And it is to a point. It can be legitimately creepy, but the weird thing is that it can be creepy, and in a moment it could have been creepy if done properly, but it was inept.
Yeah,
and like
there isn't any horror in this movie. I mean, it's supposed to be like a horror comedy, or is it meant to be a comedy?
I don't honestly think it was meant to be a comedy.
No, I mean it is funny, but it's unintentionally funny. But I don't know, because there are some bits where it's quite like campy and stuff. Like I just don't know whether it's accidental or not. But anyway, there's no bits where I thought, oh, that's kind of a good horror element there. It's not scary at all. How sweaty is that kid?
How long has it been? It looks like he's gone to the pool.
And I just say something.
Oh no!
That's gross.
Dramatic lighting. Dramatic lighting. Oh no, he's turning into a tree!
It's so disturbing seeing that green stuff on a kid's face, though.
I know, right? It's gross, isn't it? Oh god. Ew. Oh god. Oh no! Mom and Daddy Oh, look at that one! It's not even. Oh, what is that mask? Oh god. Oh Jesus.
Oh, so is he becoming a troll or goblin?
He's becoming the food of the goblins.
Right.
But in between this entire thing, Grandpa is appearing like randomly. Like he appears randomly to the boy as to the son, like as a hobo, like a hitchhiker, and just randomly, and it's just so weird. Number one, the boy saying, stop the car, we need to see him," and then turns around and goes and talks to this hobo, who's now been embodied as Grandpa for a minute, and then one thing is, number one, the family didn't drive back. And, what are you doing? It's like, well, my question is, why did you stop?
Yeah, but then the hobo, he turns back into a regular hobo, doesn't he? And we were commenting on the fact that the makeup in that section is like it's the dirt on his face is highlighting his cheekbones. It's just like you're doing dirty wrong, like makeup artist.
You shouldn't look so good while dirty. It was the best.
What are you doing, Joshua?
You're talking to a random hobo who looks like Grandpa.
Get in the car, Joshua. Come on, hurry.
Number one, this is the thing. Go back a bit.
The soot on his face or whatever it is, it's just actually accenting his cheekbones. It's like
you look ravishing for a hobo, mate. You look great.
Look, it's got like
dramatic look.
It's got excellent cheekbones.
No. Okay, so by that point, they've all gone in there, and already there is and this leads up to the big random like belt sequence. And okay, so they go into the house, and already food is there, and it's like, and the father's like, oh, wonderful hospitality. He says hospitality in this movie like a bajillion times, and he's gonna go and eat, and it's about to go, and all the food doesn't look appetizing at all, because you describe the food. The food is always weird in this movie.
It all looks plastic. It all looks like it's not actual real food. So you can't believe that these people would go, oh, yeah, that looks really good. I'll just tuck in. It doesn't look real for a start. And everything is coated in some kind of green stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know about you, but when there's something that's green, it's food related, and unless it's supposed to be green, that's fine. But like, if you get some random green stuff like weird goo or whatever on food, you're gonna nah, mate. Nah, I'll pass on that, I think.
Not at all. That's the weird thing. It's like, for example, like when the later on is like when the sheriff gives that kid this burger. It's not even a burger. It's just 2 pieces of bread with green shit in the middle of it. No one would eat this. Like, who would eat this?
Yeah, I just got like it's a sandwich that he's prepared, but it's just like a little. a little green mess in his hand.
It's
like
gross. It's so gross. No, and people are eating this or think this is good food. None of it is.
Yeah, what's so funny is the fact that they just happily eat this weird-looking food.
If I gave you a sandwich with green goop in it, you would instantly go, nah, mate. Right?
Nah, mate, nah.
Nah, it's fine. I'll just wait to go to the Chippies next door.
Grandpa appears again in the window.
Yeah.
And he tells him, like, you've only got 30 seconds. And this is where we start questioning the legitimacy of Grandpa. Because before then, we just thought the kid is crazy and just imagining Grandpa everywhere, right? Then he goes to the window. And the window goes, he knocks the window. Literally, Grandpa's knocking on the window. And the other rest of the family do not see this, but the boy does. And he goes over to the window and says, like, you need to stop them from eating. And it's like, why? Because this will turn them into the goo of the goblins. And it's like, so what do? He does this, he snaps his fingers. And then he's able to freeze time for 30 seconds.
It's just so powerful. I mean, it's a proper magician.
I know. He stops time for 30 seconds. It's never explained. And it goes like, you've got 30 seconds to figure out how to stop this.
It's like, if you think about it, this movie, if it was from the perspective of the child and everything that, like, because how a child's imagination works, then that would be kind of cool. But I don't think it's intentional.
That's you have to understand that this is something you have to learn about trash movies. Not everything you think is cool.
Yeah.
It's completely unintentional.
Accidental,
It's totally accidental. Anything you think that was legitimately, that's actually a really good sequence. Probably done by accident.
Yeah.
Okay?
But of course, the filmmakers would probably take that as, they'd be like, I
totally. I totally imagined this. This is how it was supposed to be. And that's the thing as well. Talking back to the director, director is still convinced it was a good movie. Many years later, after it's been trashed. To the point that, at one point, he went to a screening of this, but people are laughing at it, and he's still confused many years later as to why people are laughing at the movie when it's supposed to be a serious movie. And he's the director and said, like, I'm generally convinced I made a good movie. This is a good movie. This is a good American movie. And the rest of the cast are like, no, mate, we're happy that we're involved because we're like now that this is now seen as this movie, everyone's seen this movie, but people are loving it. They're loving it not because it's like, you know, it's like a serious movie, but because people are having fun watching it. We had a hell of a lot of fun watching this.
He doesn't like it, the fact that people like it because it's bad.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I would just take it like as a compliment because it's like people are still enjoying it, you know.
Yeah, people watch this movie in the droves. There's like midnight screenings and stuff like that for this movie. So I would have gone full force with this. But this is what I mean. Like, this is what I mean by there's some good bits in this, but the reason why they're good is because they're accidental or we've made it up, and we love it anyway because it's so funny. And this is one of the first laughs I think properly in this movie. Is when Grandpa freezes time for 30 seconds. And you can clearly see all the actors just standing still. You can see them breathing and and really trying their best not to move. And, you know, the daughter's holding this weird corn on the cob thing with green goo on it. Again, with the green goo. And the son is thinking, what's the best way for no one to eat food? And he goes up on this chair and pisses on it. You don't see him piss it, thank God for that, because he's like a 10-year-old. But you see him just stand up and say, I must stop him. I must do this. And he just unzips, and the next shot is literally the family just throwing all the food out.
Yeah, because I don't want to even imagine the scene of him actually pissing on, because, like, you know, the daughter has got
got a corn on a cob near her mouth. It's so weird. Even when watching this movie, we haven't got into this much in depth already. So now we're thinking, oh, this is fucking weird. Out of all the options, you decide to piss on it.
I must do it. I must do it.
What is happening?
Yes. He just peed on all of the food.
Don't hit him, Michael. Please don't hit him.
Why not? It's what he deserves. A big spanking for a little shit.
A big spanking for a little
shit. That's a quote.
The smells.
This is where it starts getting weird. Because by this point, we haven't even talked about the boyfriend yet.
No.
So we have the boyfriend of the daughter who's following them around in a caravan, so they can sneakily do like sexy time. But he ends up being stupid. He brings like his 3 lackeys, who are all horny teenagers.
Yeah.
All in the caravan, and they're all awful. They're all terrible.
Yeah, they're just classic sort of 90s movie like cliches, aren't they? Like they just want to like going for sex all the time, aren't they? Yeah, let's
go bonking. Let's just say, if you and I were going to go out somewhere on the pull, we wouldn't go to the middle of fucking nowhere.
Let's go to Nilbog.
I heard Nilbog's where you get all the action. No.
Why do the kids, the teenagers, why do they go?
Well, the idea is that the boyfriend wants to go to be with the girlfriend, and convinced by tricking the other 3 that, there's loads of hot virgin ladies.
Yeah,
they say
right.
virgins as well, which is really creepy.
Yeah, because that normally wouldn't entice a teenage boy, like the virgin thing. I don't think it would. It's like they usually were more attracted to kind of girls with experience, surely.
No, but it's more like it's more the idea is like they're waiting to be plucked, and I find that half the lines are really gross. Hence why I don't know, might be in a weird like maybe this Italian man has a thing for virgins. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But this is the weird thing. I read it as well. Reading this as well. It's not just him who wrote it. It's his wife who wrote it as well.
Right.
So this husband and wife team wrote weird shit like this. So yeah, by this point, they're now in Nilbog, and the house has no food. The house already is left with absolutely no food.
Just some weird milk.
Yeah, which looks literally like PVA glue.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like anything drinkable, right? So
like the glue you had in school, so when you're doing like craft and stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
it looks really flippin' like thick and creamy, and that's not a euphemism. It's just literally it looks gross. It looks really, really nasty. So the father and son go off, right? And so the daughters and the mum's left in the house, kind of thing. Then we cut back to the caravan. And this is when Arnold finds this woman running in the forest with tattered clothes. We've never seen this woman in our lives.
Yeah.
Like, ever. There's no introduction. She looks a little bit like Kim Cattrall.
And also, like, a really, like, bad version of, like, Sharon Stone, like a really low-budget Sharon Stone.
I was going to say, actually, it reminds me of both, like, either Kim Cattrall or Sharon Stone. But they're, like, really, really, like, this is the penny version. You buy it for the cheap.
You can't get those people, so let's just...
Okay, now we need to talk about Arnold. His acting range is amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, no, he's like, it's so funny when he's reacting to any situation. It's on like the one level, and that just makes it beautiful to watch.
And you know what the level is? Fed up.
Yeah,
he's like he doesn't want to be there.
Just mildly miffed.
he's a little annoyed. Yeah. Like he finally sees these trolls for the first time around. We say trolls, but they're goblins.
Yeah. The thing is, like, I know in the movie, these goblins, they like when as an audience member watching it, they look cheap and a bit naff and stuff. But if this character was supposed to believe that these were like goblins, just there in front of him, he would have been shitting himself, surely. But he just looks at them like they're just annoying people, are just kind of just approaching them. It's like, oh, you know what, piss off, mate, piss off. You know, like I just don't. I'm just trying to like get it on with this girl here,
who I've just met.
Yeah,
and is bruised and cut, but I want to bang her. And you're getting in my way. You're kind of cock blocking me.
Yeah, like almost like as if they're annoying kids that are like younger than him. I that's the kind of reaction he gives.
It's like 10-year-olds in masks, right?
Yeah.
But that's the thing, they probably were.
Yeah.
Although then again, right.
But then he goes up to them, doesn't he? And he like tries to like be manly and kind of like you shouldn't be around here kind of thing. You get out of here kind of thing.
Get out of here. What are you doing?
At least she was reacting to him like
like she was legitimately acting. There was Like, actually, here's the thing. Maybe she's technically the best actress in the movie, even though I don't even know her name. We never find out her name.
It's a shame that is really, like, in movies, especially, like, ones like this. Because sometimes little bit parts can be the best actors, because she was actually reacting to the situation like she should.
She was acting.
Yeah.
You know, she was acting. Good grief.
What are they?
Monsters, what do you want from me?
Wait here. I'll take care of them. Let me give you some advice, you dwarfs. Get out of here, or you're going to be in a lot of trouble. And remember,
Hey, did you guys hear that yell?
it was probably just Arnold deflowering a nilbog virgin.
No, that wasn't the scream of a woman. That was Arnold.
One of the goblins throws a flipping spear at him. And his reaction to it is like he just got a bit of a paper cut. It's like, it's basically Family Guy's falling on his knee thing. It's like,
You know, like if you're barefoot and you step on like a upturned plug.
Like or like a piece of Lego.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, that's annoying. Oh, that's really
I think Lego's better because a plug can actually be really hurt. Like when you see the pins of a plug.
Yeah. But it's like you're walking barefoot, you walk around a house, you step on a piece of Lego. That kind of annoyance is his reaction to getting speared in the shoulder. And it looks really fake as well. Like, it doesn't look like it even goes all the way in. It looks like it just goes...
No. And in the next scene, he just completely forgot about it, it seems.
Apparently, he needs to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
But he doesn't react to it. Like, he's not holding it there properly. He's supposed to be bleeding. You just got a spear right through him. And he has no reaction to it. So Arnold and Sharon Stone, like, -2, they stumble across this church. And this is where, personally for me, you get my favorite person in the entire movie. So you're introduced to this woman,
who's like, I can only describe it as like when I used to watch children's TV programs, like in the 90s. Whenever you had like a villain in a 90s kids TV show on like ITV or something like that, they were a bit like her. She's like really over dramatic and a little bit gothic looking, but like really crap gothic looking, you know, like crap cheap goth kind of thing.
Oh, cheap goth was great. The moment you first see her, she walks in. You finally see it. They walk into this church. Apparently, her bedroom / living room / witch's lair is all in this main hall, and then she comes up from up the stairs and it's
like what would be like a proper Netflix and chill layer.
I know, it's like a proper lair.
Everything you want in one place.
It's like it's all here. It is.
Yeah, I'm just gonna watch Netflix and just have some food and
chill. I can pull a bit of magic.
This is my house.
Oh, you have it. Oh, she's the best. This is my house. Oh my God.
I know, right. When you came round earlier, I should have said that when you entered the house.
This is my house.
And that's the first time you see her.
Yeah.
By that point, I'm clapping.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen it multiple times by this point, but every time she comes in, I just want to give her a round of applause. Because by that point, like, I know what I'm getting myself in for.
No, she's her eyes are so wide. It's like...
God, they're bug-eyed. They're proper bug-eyed. They're amazing. And so the first thing she does is like, firstly, if someone walked in like wearing full gothic attire with big black eyes, big eyes going, "This is my house," I go, "Fuck this, I'm out of here."
Yeah.
And she goes down the stairs.
Oh, yeah, she says, "Yeah, I've got this drink. Do you want to have this drink?"
And it's foaming all over. And what do they think it was? Hot chocolate? It's like, "Oh, have this. It's nice. Have my broth." Ew.
And the Sharon Stone wannabe.
Yeah.
She like, or you know, being the better actor is kind of like doesn't want it, and she's kind of like rejecting it straight away, pretty much, isn't she?
Yeah.
But is it Arnold? He's Arnold. He's like, well, it looks all right. I might have it in a bit. Like he's still holding it the whole time. Doesn't like I would just put it down. Like, no, I'm not having it. I don't want it. It's like, it looks horrible. I'm not going to take a chance on it. But he's like, don't know.
And this the thing is, the moment he has that happen, he holds it for the entire movie by this point. If you look back at it, he's still holding it near the end of the movie. So by that point, so basically, she's somehow skeptical, but she drinks it first. And she basically starts bleeding green. Like we've seen I saw the opening cutscene. It's like, oh no, she's turning green. And she goes up the stairs. Weirdly, I don't know why she's going up the stairs, but she's going up the stairs. And the guy is still holding the...
He's like, yeah, I'm gonna have this. I'm just gonna watch what happens, and then I'm gonna have it myself. Like,
and the thing is, like, he's still holding it, and he's still looking up. What's happening with her? And she's coughing green goo.
I'm just remembering the scene, like his reactions again. Like,
So by this point, this is probably the infamous scene from the whole movie. This is the one that gets mocked constantly every time on YouTube videos and everything else. This is the thing that gets seen the most.
They're eating her.
Oh my God.
They ate me. Oh my
Oh my goodness, that was perfect.
I like this place. Not one bit.
Oh my God. My sweet Jesus. That was the best. I was waiting.
his reaction is the best thing.
It's so like I can't do any emotion whatsoever. He's like a plank of wood, and it's so good.
They're eating her.
And they're gonna eat me. Oh my God. It's like it's like he's a little annoyed.
But it's like him not being the best actor in the world, like to put it politely. When he says, "Oh my God," it's just like, "Oh my God."
It's a long tone, and his face doesn't even change. It's like Botox. It just stays the same.
I imagine like if they did multiple takes, the director was trying to communicate like, no, just all right. If you can't put any more emotion into it, just say it a bit longer. Maybe that'll like
Keep it going.
give the impression that it's a bit more kind of distressing. I was like for that particular point, I was laughing so much that my stomach was hurting.
I was. Oh God, it was the best.
Oh, hi there.
Can I help you?
Coffee.
There's no coffee here in Nilbog. It's the devil's drink.
Ooh. So that means there's no Starbucks around the corner or anything, isn't it?
Hey? Are you crazy, boy? We're vegetarians here in Nilbog. Didn't you?
The store owner. The one with the hat and the overalls.
I actually found him quite sinister, and he's the only element of horror I thought was like kind of there, because he does look kind of creepy and kind of like
I think
intense.
he's the only thing that looks creepy, but it feels so weird that this is the only kind of element that could be a bit creepy when the entire movie is trying to be creepy and fails miserably.
Yeah.
So this
it's like the troll aspect, the goblin. They're supposed to be the horror element. They're supposed to be creepy. They're not creepy ever in the movie.
Ever. Because they just look like a bunch of kids with masks on with pillows underneath them to look fat.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's kind of creepy. But another thing, looking back at the wonderful IMDb page, that the character of the shop owner, actually, the character of the shop owner, was a last-minute replacement because the original guy just never showed up on set.
It's extras for you.
I don't know. Technically, he wouldn't even be an extra. It's a bit part, isn't it? So
yeah, but weren't they all booked for extras or something?
Originally, they were supposed to be extra. They were applying to be extras in the movie, and they got hired as lead roles, which is bizarre. But yeah, basically, the creepiest thing in the movie was by accident. Again, you're noticing a pattern. And this is a thing that I've noticed watching this movie several times, and this is really funny, and it'll lead up to the ending, is that he says, like, for example, like, the shop owner is like, so what are you doing here? And so what do you want? And then and yellow guy goes over and says, we need to get I want to get some food and stuff. Do you have any food here? And it's like, we don't have much around here. And it's like, do you have like any eggs? Ugh, eggs. Do you have any bacon? Bacon. You're like, what? And it turns out that basically everyone in Nilbog are vegetarians.
Yeah.
Which is weird. And then when you think about it later on, and especially with the ending, it basically means that vegetarians are evil. This movie is saying all veggies are evil. Imagine if you're fucking vegan.
God. And what I love though is funny because like the family were talking about food that they wanted.
Yeah.
Like, and it was like eggs, bacon, and what was the other thing?
Eggs, bacon, and something else.
Yeah, but like when the teenager yellow guy, when he goes to ask for food, all he wants is eggs and bacon. And it's like
and coffee, eggs, bacon, and coffee.
Yeah,
coffee is the worst one. Coffee.
So, do you think like this is like the Italian thinking this is all Americans want?
American want breakfast. Get egg, bacon, and coffee. That's what they have
all the time. That's all the
time. That's all they want in life. Is eggs, bacon, and coffee. I love it. They say coffee. Coffee's the worst thing you can have. Yeah. And it's like, what? And then this is where it says like, have some of this Nilbog milk again. It's like, oh, we're bringing back the PVA glue. Yeah. And by this point, this is the thing that we talked about before. The sheriff gave the yellow guy the sandwich. And he's already starting to sweat green.
Yeah, he's got a green brow going on.
Yeah, it's a bit of a brow, a bit much. And then again it goes off. And then again, it almost feels like half the town is standing outside this drugstore. It's just, and they've
got nothing to do. It's a small town.
It's a small town. It's like, fresh young meat. And then you see everyone staring at him. And then the other guy's like, your friend tells you to go. You need to meet him at the church. You mean Arnold? Yes, that guy. It was literally like that.
It reminded me of, like, you know, in a school play, when someone's got a little part and they have to kind of walk towards the front of the stage and kind of say their line.
Oh my God!
It reminds me of that.
It looks like this is your line now. Go and say it and do it good because you're not gonna have any others.
It was exactly like that.
Hey, you.
Yeah?
Your friend has a message for you.
Who? Arnold?
Yeah, that's him. He said to meet him in the house that looks like an old church.
Okay.
You can go through the woods. It's only about a mile away.
So, yellow guy goes to the church. Like I said, it's going to be yellow guy, I don't know his name. And he collapses onto the bed. And this is where we reveal how Arnold is at the minute. And he's...
Yeah, he's now like part plant or tree or whatever. He's kind of like, he's in a pot.
He's in a plant pot.
And he's got like, his legs are kind of like rooted to the pot. And his face is supposed to have like a plant root like all over his face. But what it looks like is just a dog with shit on his face.
It looks just like someone shat on his face.
My God. He's becoming one with nature. He is a tree.
His face just looks like a massive dog shit. He gets pulled off the gag of his mouth, and he literally just says like, I can't remember the yellow guy's name, but let's call him Steven, and he literally just goes, Get me out of here, Stephen. Like, he's this guy is fused to a pot by his legs, and he's actually been trapped, and he's becoming a plant, and that's how he reacts to that situation.
He's not like going, oh my God, thank God you're here, please to drag me away. It's like, just get me out of here. just take me.
Get me out of here, yellow guy.
Go on.
You will be punished for this.
No. Please, ma'am, I beg you. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do to me with that?
Making nice milkshake for your friend. But this won't hurt you. You just feel a little tickle, little flower.
This is something we haven't talked about yet, but the witch seems to be the queen of the goblins, or whatever it is. We don't know, but the witch seems to be the queen of the goblins.
Yeah,
and she does this through the power of Stonehenge.
I mean, this is what I'm saying about going back to earlier about like it seemed like it's like from the perspective of a child, because say a child like went to Stonehenge one time,
yeah,
and then like so later, and they were thinking of a magical story. So
it's like Stonehenge.
Yeah, the witch would have the power of Stonehenge because I've been to Stonehenge. I know someone told me about
magical.
That. Yeah.
I've heard they have a literal Stonehenge in the house. So the witch has literally
part of the furniture.
Literally a hole in the wall with glowing light.
Yeah.
With a Stonehenge on it. Stonehenge. I'm sorry. We talk about it while, for some reason, like every time we were watching in the movie, I started doing like the impression of Ray Winston. Stonehenge, goblins, baloney.
You fucker.
You fuckers. Now I'm telling you, Ray Winston would have made this movie. You know what I would love? I would love to do this. If ever we ever get successful, I want to get Ray Winston to come and watch Troll 2 with us. And just talk over it. And go like, what the fuck is this shit?
He would hate it. Because I reckon proper actors would probably hate really, really bad movies. Like
really bad acting?
Because I don't know whether because like we can appreciate the comedy, the unintentional comedy of it.
Yeah.
An actual proper actor, I don't think would like. I think it would make them cringe too much when they see people acting badly. Like,
would he be like constantly going like, "That's my profession you're ruining right there"?
I think so, but I don't know. I don't know whether some actors can see past that and they just enjoy it for the laugh. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, we can obviously enjoy it for the laughter because we know. Look, we're filmmakers and we've directed people and so on. But we know we're not the best at the same time. We're getting there. We're developing. But at the same time, it's always kind of weird when we see something like that happen, where someone is doing it far worse, and you're thinking, "Oh Jesus, okay." That's
the thing is, it's like these people. I mean, it's a low budget movie, right?
Yeah.
But there's still going to be thousands of dollars involved with that movie because it's kind of like, you've got things going on that cost money. You can see it on the screen. So even though it's cheap, it's still but they've still been given that money to make the film.
They still got the stuff, yeah. And it's just like, and this is what you make with it. Okay.
If we had that money, we
would at least try to do something.
Because I've seen movies before I thought looked really cheap, and then you go into IMDb and it says like the budget was like 3 million or something. And it's like, for God's sake, what did you spend that money on?
And here's the thing though, like for us, like 3 minutes, like holy shit, that's a lot of money. But maybe for them, it's like chump change. You know. So we've got the power of Stonehenge that seems to bring the ability to bring all the power to the goblins, right? To the vegetarian goblins. We have to make this very particular because we had a shot of the father reading a vegetable cooking book.
Oh, that's one of my favourite bits in the film because it's like, in a movie when you're trying to make it too obvious for the audience, it's kind of like, I mean, I saw that it was important that he was reading a vegetarian book, like in the wide shot.
Yeah.
But the camera decides to go zoom in and keep zooming for like about 2 minutes or something.
This whole movie has
until the whole frame is filled with the vegetable book.
And like, we get it. We know vegetables are a big thing here. God. And then this happens so often in the movie. There's loads of random zoom in shots.
I think that was the first one, wasn't it?
That was the first one that was like really intense. Because there were a few, obvious, because there were a few others, but it was like, nah, it's just like a choice. But then we started noticing, holy shit, they're zooming in on all the clues.
Okay.
All right, we get it. It's a vegetable cookbook. All right.
I saw that he was reading that on the wide shot. He didn't need to zoom in.
All right.
There's a bit where the witch is finally like, oh God, okay, I have to summon the power of Stonehenge to transform herself into a sexier version of her. So, first of all, you have basically overdramatic drama teacher transform into a girl who probably would be at least second choice to be in a Whitesnake video.
Yeah, just draped over like a muscle car or something.
Exactly. Big hair, big boobs, tiny waist, you name it. And then she, the scene there is that she's suddenly walking down the thing. And here's the thing, the entire time of this, and this is not really explained, because the witch has barely any idea that the caravan exists, right? Like, so the witch seems to magically know that the other guy, Mr. Boyfriend's lover boy, who's been sleeping in the couch the entire time, is in the caravan.
She's just aware. She's omnipresent.
Omnipresent, right? And so she's dancing in the middle of the fucking thing, right in front of the TV. Like, she's peering on the TV, it's like, I'm not a program, I'm real. Come outside and meet me. And then suddenly she's out there holding a corn on the cob. Again, the corn. And then they go in, and they try and get sexy with it. But again, it's really fucking weird. So at one point she puts her leg over, it's like, poof, like the graduate, are you trying to seduce me, Mrs. Robinson?
Yeah.
Kind of way. And then
she's got the suspenders on and stuff.
Suspenders and like a dressing gown. It's really like fucking sexy in a weird way. But she's holding the corn, which is a constant distraction.
What's the matter? Aren't you hungry?
Actually, I like popcorn.
Well, no problem. All we have to do is heat it up.
That's not what I would think of, like, but I know it's corn, but I don't associate...
You don't think corn with popcorn?
No, I don't like corn on the cob. I would just, put some butter on that, heat it up, and just bite it off. Yeah. It's not the same thing as popcorn at all.
I know. But
and
this is
just because it's leading
to this big moment, which is probably your favourite scene in the whole movie. Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, it's just like, basically, she has it in the corn. She leans in, she has the corn in her mouth, she's biting it.
Yes.
And he ends up, she like kind of forces it into his face, but he's willing, he likes the idea of it. And so he's biting on it. So visually, it looks like they're kissing, but there's a corn on the cob wedged between them.
So weird.
And they're just biting it, and then eventually pop, and like popcorn goes everywhere in an orgasmic fashion, and I just don't. Other than like it being very funny,
yeah,
I don't know what the point of it was.
The whole scene could be removed, and it would have had nothing to do with the plot.
It's just the fact that someone had an idea that this would be funny. Let's put this in there, so they did. But it's like, because I think that bit is meant to be funny. It's got to be.
It has to be. It has to be, unless this generally is like death by popcorn. Because the thing is, the guy is still kind of alive, but he's just in the caravan covered in popcorn at the end of it. And then we never hear from him again, which makes me think he died from popcorn.
No more. No more popcorn.
Suppose maybe not like making it funny isn't the right wording, but like they wanted to make it impressive because the whole popcorn thing kind of thing like happening.
But popcorn was not. Thing is, popcorn wasn't coming. This would have been more impressive. Popcorn wasn't coming out of like their mouths or like the corn itself. It was just someone just chucking it at them. So where the fuck was this popcorn coming from?
Yeah, because in theory, if that sequence was happening, the popcorn would be coming out of the corn on the cob.
Yeah,
like just
and then engulfing
popping and like going everywhere. But it's just kind of like showers down almost, doesn't it? People listening, like we're describing this scene and they haven't seen it. It's just gonna sound so odd.
It's odd when you see it, let alone when we describe it. So yeah, that's probably Edward's favorite scene. It's probably the weirdest scene in the whole movie. The whole town folk are now they're trying to convince the family to finally turn to fucking vegetables, right? So when the father and the son come back to the house, like they say, and this is after they confronted the daughter and the boyfriend. So all of them are going back to the house, like, what the hell's going on here? When all the cars are outside, they go into the house and literally just see everybody, like everybody. Oh my god, we forgot one scene. We forgot a scene. We have to rewind. Okay. Ted DiBiase.
Oh, I was going to say, if you didn't mention that would be a real disappointment.
We missed it. Okay, so in between this, the sun disappears.
I was thinking that hadn't come up yet.
No, it did come up. It came up before this or around this. So, okay, so the sun disappears and seems to follow some people and goes into this underground shack or whatever the hell it is and finds all the town folk, like, having a preach from someone who looks like...
This is probably my second favourite scene because they're just having like a preaching session by Ted DiBiase from the WWE.
Yes.
And it's not actually him, but
he looks like him.
Symbol of original sin.
It's like, guys, Ted DiBiase, $1 Million Man.
Oh my god, he does! Where is the $1 Million Championship belt? He needs Virgil and all the other people that come along with him. Their only reaction is,
Sausages.
Sausages! Sausages! They're the worst!
Literally, in that meeting, that's all that's happening. It's just listing meats, and they're all going, "Ugh, that's horrible."
And it's basically saying, like, we need to defeat the meat eaters. We are the legion of vegetables.
Yeah, and it's just another way of, like, the director saying vegetarians are shit again, isn't it?
It's literally what it is. I feel like this Italian guy must be looking at going like, God, you know vegetarians are assholes, right? And then, okay, and then by this point, the boy sees this and gets captured by them, and the whole town is trying to force feed him this porridge that basically they call it Nilbog ice cream.
Oh, before he kind of like gets sort of captured by him or seen, it did another one of those things where the skateboard is going to be important. So like he had because he's got this green skateboard, and
so 90s.
He basically has it in the scene and he carries it with him, and he's peering down on them through this hole in the floor. But before he does that, he puts his skateboard down, and the camera just zooms in really close for ages onto the skateboard, like saying, right, as if it had commentary. It'd be like, right, okay, the skateboard in the next sequence is going to be important. I just want you to focus on the skateboard. for a second. The skateboard ride is going to be important in the next scene. Okay, you got it? You got it?
You got it? You got it?
Okay.
Stupid.
Oh, and another bit, it wasn't a zoom in, but you pointed it out. When there's a big platter on the table at some stage, there's a little box of forks. It just says forks.
Forks on it. It's like, in case you didn't know what's in the box, you now know it's forks.
Really bold red text. Forks.
Forks. You're like, what the fuck?
It's like the production design is a constant photo bomb. Like,
I know. It's like, hey, look, this is shit. So I'm gonna have to put some things of note. And they drive off and they go back to the house. And this is literally, when they go back to the house after confronting like the boyfriend and everything else and coming back, the whole town is magically teleported from that little shack to their house. And they've got a whole shit full of food. And the mum, this is where mum goes from 1 to 10.
Bearing in mind, but before that point, we'd only seen mum on notch 1.
On notch 1. And then the entire movie, she's on notch 10. And so the whole family's now gone in with mum clearly on cocaine, trying to eat on a table with forks on it. And this is the point. The son gets a bit distracted because Grandpa's back.
Yeah.
Then by this point, son goes upstairs, right? He goes upstairs and Grandpa appears again because son's going to the mirror and going like, Grandpa, are you there? And a fucking troll just runs through the fucking mirror. And then Grandpa, with a flippin' axe, chops the hand off the goblin and it dies. So Grandpa's badass. He can hold a fucking axe. He can kill goblins and shit. So why the fuck has he not done this in the first place is beyond me. And then he goes to the kid going like, do not be sorry about the fire. It's like, what fire? And Grandpa takes out a Molotov cocktail.
It's just weird, his powers, like, his best powers are reserved for the third act.
I know.
It's like, no, I can't use them. It's not the third act.
I'm waiting because I could do a whole bunch of shit, but I can't do it. So by this point, we're like, what the fuck are you? Are you a ghost? Are you a wizard? Are you some kind of weird entity? It's never explained. Grandpa has all these powers and we never understand them.
Hurry, let's put some fuel on the fire.
Cut it out, kid. You'll never be able to stop us. And as for you, old man, go back to your kingdom of shadows. I order you for the sacred power of the magic stone. It is Lord. Go back.
And so, using his lightning powers, the Ted DiBiase, who's now holding the Molotov cocktail, explodes into flames. And on top of that, he's now holding gloves, which are clearly the stuntman who's saying, I ain't get my fucking head burned.
Forgot about that. The continuity of that is just like, nah, fuck that shit.
Fuck that shit. You know, like, health and safety first, you know? Like, this is the first time he's done it.
What are the gloves like? Are they obvious?
They're white gloves.
Like Mickey Mouse.
They're proper white gloves. And the entire time, the guy's not wearing gloves, and suddenly he's wearing white gloves, which clearly must be like health and safety gloves.
Fucking hell.
I know. The more we look at it back now, we're thinking of memory. It's like, this is even worse than you thought. And then by this point, he's on fire and everyone comes out with a fire extinguisher. Grandpa disappears. Conveniently, he disappears because he could have fucking stayed and told like, hey, family, hey, you know, your son has been talking to me this entire time. That's accurate. That's actually true. Grandpa exists. Woo.
But you know when he disappears, the way it's cut, it looks like he transformed into the fire extinguisher.
He did, because it's all like da-da-da-da, and the son's like going, huh?
Yes, the son is looking at the fire extinguisher, talking like to Grandpa.
Oh, like, Grandpa, what are you doing, turning into a fire extinguisher? Okay, that's great. So he finally, Grandpa fire extinguisher gets used to turn Ted DiBiase back to regular perfect. But he stops the fire and it turned to a goblin. And now, finally, after nearly like an hour and a bit of the son saying, these people are goblins, finally they all believe him.
Yeah.
And so this is where the movie starts getting like trippy and shit, because they lock themselves in the house with all the town folk who are clearly goblins, saying like, we can do it the easy way or the hard way, and so they're barricading the house. And so by this point, they go for Grandpa again, using a seance, which we never knew they knew how to do a fucking seance, but they knew how to do a seance. And then Grandpa appears again. Only as a sound of voice saying, we have only got a little time. I can only stay on this plane for another hour or something.
It's like he's got to get back to watch his TV programs or something like.
He wants to go back home, watch Netflix. God damn it. So by this point, he does a swap over. So he gets the son gets magically teleported back to the witch's lair, and that gets replaced with a goblin. So now the rest of the family are stuck with goblins because Grandpa's a dick, basically. And it's so weird. This is the thing. As the first episode, we're going through the entire movie because the whole movie is just a fucking mess. But the way we're describing it, it's like it sounds like the rambling of an insane person. It sounds like we're making it up, but we're not. I want to make this perfectly clear. We're not making this up. If you watch Troll 2, everything we've just said happens.
And it might sound like it sounds ingenious and it's really kind of trippy and kind of cool, but it isn't.
It isn't. It isn't trippy. It's like, ooh, that's psychedelic. Ooh, there must be some kind of hidden metaphor. No, you are making the hidden metaphor. You're finding it trippy because you're probably on acid while watching it. It's just, oh God, it's so weird.
Grandpa, where have you been?
Take this. Keep it. You can only take out the contents when you really need it. Do you understand?
I understand. And now?
Here it is. The Stonehenge magic stone. The goblin's magic power.
Looks a bit like Angel Delight. Remember Angel Delight?
Yeah, I remember Angel Delight.
Well, they still make it now, but like, only have it as a kid. If you ever had Angel Delight as an adult, it's horrible.
I've never. Oh God, only had it as a kid.
All the goblins magically appear back in the witch's lair, and the witch appears. Okay. And then he finally he's been surrounded by all these goblins. He takes out a triple-layered bologna sandwich.
Oh, cool.
He takes this all out. It's amazing. He takes this out. This is a sign that clearly the Italian director hates vegetarians, because by this point he takes out this stacked, like fucking stacked bologna sandwich, and the kid's about to eat it, and everyone's like, "No, don't! The toxins!"
Like the power of meat.
The power of meat. And finally, all the goblins just explode into a pile of red goo. And then the family teleports. They're all gone. They're just magically in the car, looking like they look like they've gone to war.
Yeah. And they just pull up in the driveway and they're kind of just like, well, fucking hell, that was pretty bad, wasn't it? And the boyfriend is like, yeah, I'm going to go home for a while.
I'm not coming back.
And the daughter's like, yeah, I'm going to come with you.
Yeah, I'm going to get away from this family for a while.
So it just seems like the ends kind of rushed together.
Because how the fuck do you end that movie? You can't end that movie well.
Do you want some, Joshua?
I would say, as the first time you've seen Troll 2, did you like it?
I found it like, for example, I like movies like that are bad movies, enjoyable, funny bad movies. I enjoyed it while watching it with you.
Yeah.
But if I was watching it on my own,
you'd find it shit.
I wouldn't. I mean, I'd kind of there's bits where I would kind of like find it amusing, but I don't think I would allow myself to get to those bits because I would put it on, and the opening I would have seen like this is a bit shit. I'm not going to watch it all.
You wouldn't have the effort to go.
No. But like watching it with you, and having the banter while we're watching it, it made it absolutely like hilarious and entertaining. So it's a movie to watch with another like-minded person.
You need to watch it with someone else, definitely, and someone who, hopefully, this is what I think you do. If you've never seen it before, watch it with someone who has, because that will make it a little bit easier for you. If you both go in completely blind, you might not enjoy it. It's always better. This is why this entire podcast is happening, because I am this kind of connoisseur of rubbish. I got this pile of just amazing trashy movies, and since you have not seen nearly any of them, I am your guide through this magical world that is trash cinema. And Troll 2 is probably the perfect example of what's to come. So if you enjoyed it with me, oh god, I've got some corkers for you.
But the thing is with this podcast, they're not all going to be bad, are they?
No, they're not all going to be bad. There are movies that there will be good movies. But they're like trashy, or they've got something that's really kind of like
cheap about
them, or cultish, or whatever it is like that. So it's more than just like, I'm going to show you a bad movie, see if you can handle it. It's more a little bit like, here's some like underground cinema, here's some cult classics, here's some that maybe you've never heard of or seen before, but they are infamous in their own circles. So Troll 2 is probably the best introduction for you. And now that you've seen the quality of it, are you excited for some of the other stuff I'm going to be flinging at you?
I'm very excited. That was what more could I ask for?
That is the sound of a man incredibly enthusiastic. What we're going to do, we'll wrap it up now. We'll catch you guys next time, where hopefully from the magical list I've got a gory one next for you. So that will be a good one to do. So for all cult fans out there, keep an eye on your trash. There might be something good in there. See you guys later. This podcast has been an enigmatic production. It's hosted by Johann Chipol and music by Edward Harvey. If you like what you hear, subscribe to the podcast. We are on Google Play, iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and Buzzsprout. Share it, like it, write a review. For more information on our other projects, check out our website, www.enigmaticproductions.co.uk.